We are live with Michael Mount Rushmore Sabon.
Love it.
Keensaw Mountain Landis Sabon.
Yes, Mr. Landis, an old uncle of mine from the 1880s volcano league that we had in South Dakota.
Yes, the volcanic league. Excellent stories from that league
Yes.
with your ancestors. Michael, people have been begging. Where is Sabon? Where are the annual interviews that we've come used to? And I thought today would be the perfect day to get you. Being that the trade deadline just came and went.
Yep.
And actually the last trade that was made was the one where you obtained the rookie Isaac Gindy,
Your nephew.
my nephew, first rookie to be traded after 3 weeks, and as long as I can remember. I mean, that's a quick stint in Tampa Bay for Isaac Gindy in exchange for Joe Chira. Now leave the nonsense and politically correct stuff to the side.
All right.
We're here at the beach. We're in a special setting.
Look at this. Look at this view. I don't settle for green pastures and, fields that won't let us even play on
Right.
anymore. We come straight to the $1 million view with Sabon.
There you go, the $1 million view. Tell us without the nonsense, how did this trade happen? Who called who? Take us through.
We knew going into the draft that we were going to go. We had a plan. I think Jack, the baddie, my co-captain, spoke about it when he was on. Our plan was to pick the guys we wanted for the infield and let the outfielders come to us towards the mid to end of the draft. When Joe Chira became available in the 8th round, we said this is a tremendous pick. We didn't think he would be there at that time. He was a former first-round pick.
Crazy.
And now, a little bit of a fall from grace, age, whatever you want to call it. He, just doesn't get where he used to. And, of course, rightfully so. I think he'll tell you that. But we got him in the 8th. And we put him in center. And you know what? He was off to I'm going to fast forward. He was not having a great season offensively or defensively. And I'll admit it, he got off to a rough start, wasn't hitting, wasn't looking himself, had a little trouble in the outfield, judging balls, maybe not taking full control. The throws, we weren't hitting the cutoff man that we were pushing, must be done. Either way, we were still 4-2, so there was no real blame on any losses to anybody, but we just knew that the deadline was coming up and we thought it would be a good idea to see if we could maybe give this guy a change of scenery, I want to call it.
Yeah.
So I believe your nephew also, according to what we heard, needed that change of scenery. So a couple guys on the team, Yak Soroya, my pitcher, actually said, let's see if we can make a deal with JT for Chira.
Really?
They drive in together, and JT, I believe, asked Yak if Joe Chira was available, and
Wow.
he relayed to me. I reached out to JT, and we got the deal done literally in 5 minutes.
So this went JT to Yak. 5 minutes you called him. You said, give me Gindy for Chira, and he said, okay.
Yeah, he basically said, I'll let you know in a couple minutes. He came back, Sabon, you got a deal. I said, let me just go back and confirm with Jack and Mocas, my brain trust.
What is the story with that, though? You tell him, give me this guy for that guy, and then he says, let me go check, and then he says, okay. Now you also got to go. How many times we got to go back and forth? Why can't it be, give me this guy for that guy?
You know why? Because, honestly, I wanted to maybe explore more trades, but there was one thing I wasn't going to do this year, and it was trade someone to the 0-6 team.
Really?
I didn't even have anything going on with that team, but in my mind, I said, me and JT have been around for a long time. Let's just make sure we both want to do it. That's it.
Right.
Where it's the last minute. Maybe these guys didn't want to get traded, but I think JT knew that Chira wanted, they're very good friends.
Yeah.
He wanted to maybe go play with him. And of course, IG has Bub, his uncle, got Ronaldo up the middle, his first cousin, you as the commissioner. I mean, whatever.
I am the commissioner for all teams.
For all teams,
Yes,
but
so-
I'm saying he had family amongst them.
Yeah.
So he's happy, the other guy's happy.
What was the problem with IG on Tampa Bay?
You want to know? I don't know. I don't know. I just said whatever our problems are, I think we can't let them get any deeper. So let's just make a deal and take a chance. As a matter of fact, at the draft, we really wanted him.
I remember that.
We did. He went a couple of picks before that pick, and we said, okay, wow, we got Chira even later. We didn't think he'd be there.
Yeah.
We thought it would be great. You know, listen, Chira should be happy. He's going to a 5-1 team.
Of course.
And that's it.
Now, you mentioned not trading to the 0-6 team. Is that because you were 4-2? Like, if you were 2-4, would you mind trading to 0-6?
I think it's different. I think we have a very good team vibe right now. So there was no need to do that. You know, in my elderly age,
Yes.
maybe 10 years ago, I would have sold somebody's grandmother
Right.
for nothing.
Right.
But at 4-2, someone on that team has probably had contributed to those wins.
Right.
So did I really feel the need to say, you know what, am I going to get better taking a possible problem that contributed to being 0-6? I just didn't even need it, and honestly, I didn't explore it. So, you know, I just didn't have to. But if I was 2-4 and I'm fighting for my life, you know, all bets are off.
All bets are off, and it's not even that much of a. Yes, it's a huge. Every win is a huge difference, but 2-4 to 0-6, you're a week away from each other. You're a sweep away
Right.
from each other. Like it's not as different. People have asked me if there should be a rule 6-0, can't trade to 0-6 or whatever. No one, I can't imagine. Even you in your heyday, if you were 6-0, sending anyone on your team to an 0-6 team.
You know, listen, I've been in the league 30 years, and I got traded a couple of years ago off the Knights.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that was rough. I'll be honest, it was hard. I was in the brain trust, and the guys asked me the night before.
Or so you thought.
So I thought. They said, "Do you want to get traded?" And I'm like, "What? You know, why would you even ask that?" No, I do not. Next thing I know, 7 a.m., Naby calls me, and he traded for me, which, by the way, turned out good for the long run. Even though the Knights went on, they had a great, you know, rest of the season and ended up winning. That brought me and Naby together for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then we won together last year.
Also, people don't remember when that deal was made. You were with Michael Beta.
Yeah.
He was still healthy when the deal was made. Who could know he's going to get injured on the first inning?
yeah.
The first inning after the trade.
What happened was, I believe he got a single, his first at bat on the new team. I think I either doubled or tripled, and he running around third.
Yes.
Popped the hammy, done for the season.
Done for the year. And now you're dealing with replacements and who's available, and then the whole thing is shot, and you lose it, you play without in that game. So that trade at the time was really good for both teams. He maybe was desperate for offense, and they needed some pieces that they plugged together to end up winning the World Series, but it wasn't as lopsided as it was when we all look back, you know?
Right.
Okay. Any trades that came to you that you rejected? Anyone reach out to you that, you know?
I spoke to Ishak. You know, listen, nobody wants to ever feel that they're losing a trade deal.
Right.
No matter what they need, you know? And we mentioned a couple guys. He had guys that he felt like he could deal. I said, well, that could be an opportunity, but we really never, I don't think we were really even close. He likes to say I offered my last picks for his first, but that was not true.
That's just banter.
That's just his nonsense.
Right.
But, you know, anyway, he didn't make any deals, and I feel like he wanted to. Listen, Ishak knows what he's doing. He's great at making deals before the guy is on the team.
Then he forms an emotional connection because he's so emotional in everything he does.
Yeah, he invests a lot of his personal time and money into these guys, and that's a good captain, you know. Of course, when things don't go his way, he charges them to play and curses their grandfather out until they can't breathe, but
Right.
that's another story.
Alan Jamal on his team is batting in the ones again. Is this a result of the pressure T.I.'s putting on him? Would he be a better player if he was on your team or regular, any other of the 7 teams?
Listen, Alan Jamal is a 6'2" stud type guy. There's no reason he should be hitting 150. But if you look at the league this year, only after 3 weeks, there's 10 guys that are batting under 200, and some of them are former stars and all-stars and second, third, fourth round type players. So I don't know if it's the pressure or if he's known more for his fielding rather than his hitting. But you know, maybe the pressure from T.I. Listen, T.I.'s there to win. He's not there to give anybody free drinks. That comes with winning. Free drinks and batting lessons by KJ and whatever. But if the guy's not holding up his spot of where he got picked, then T.I. is going to blow up, and I guess that doesn't work so well with anyone else. You asked if he would be better on my team. I'm going to say this year, yes. I think you could probably ask anyone on my team. I'm quiet now. I barely go that nuts. That's why we changed from Mount Sabon to Mount Rushmore. But 10 years ago, I was looking to retire the week.
Right.
Anyone who batted 100, we force out of the league, and
Yes.
they join the Sunday Parcheesi League.
Yeah, so someone like an Abe Salem would be better off playing today. There's a famous video of you going nuts on his strikeout one year. If that happened today, you would not have gone as crazy on him.
I may recommend him singing Hebrew songs for the week or the soldiers somewhere, but
Right.
you know, I'm probably not going to kill him. I mean, it happens. What are you going to do?
When's the last time you struck out swinging? Do you even remember doing that?
I mean, if we look at the stats over the course of the 30 years, it says 1. It shows that I struck out once, but I don't even remember it.
Well, it could be from an ejection. If you ever ejected, they used to give strikeouts.
Believe it or not,
Not
I was
ejected?
never ejected by an ump. I was ejected by my own captain, Jeffrey Saka, which he spoke about that. But I got the last laugh on that because the game was on the line and I was sitting on the sidelines, bases loaded, happened with the guy who, the number 4 spot, came up, and it was Morris Ginty.
Right.
And Saka looked at me, wishing he could put me back in, and I think I just looked at him and went like this.
Yeah, and the way he tells it is, I was proud to lose the game, to win the battle, you know, the regular LFA.
Well, we did. We won the World Series.
Ended up winning the World Series.
Yeah, and that was an atrocious team. Meaning, we went on an epic playoff run, but I think we were 3-7 down to our last at bat.
Wow.
Yeah.
What team was that? Do you remember what
That
year?
was 2016.
Oh, dark era. That was
Sack
Attack. You beat us, A.B. Cohen pitcher. You made him cry off the mound.
Was that the crying year?
Yeah,
By
yeah.
Memorial.
Yeah, you had Ike Franco on your team that
Yes,
year, and
yeah.
that team was the worst team to watch, root for. That was a rough year for the league. That's literally, that game is why I said I'm not wasting my Sundays for this stupidity. I'm not good enough to waste my Sundays listening to this stupidity of 24 guys screaming at each other. But okay, moving on from that. Any thought from your team to say, you know what, Yak is probably top 5 hitter in this league? You know, if you look at his exit velo, it's probably the fastest hit ball in the league. He hits so hard. Any thought to say, let's get another pitcher on the team and let Yak DH? We'll give him a game at first here and there, and give me a mid-tier pitcher because your team is so good in every other spot that maybe that's the move to make.
So that was a big topic before the draft. When I knew I was taking Jack, even before the first 2 rounds, we were speaking multiple times a day, every day. And we had in mind Edmund Beta. We knew he'd be there. And I wanted him 100%. He knows that. I actually called him and I said, I'm taking you. And I meant it. And then after the first 2 rounds, up until that point, we were hearing rumblings of, oh, there's no pitchers, you got to win the playoff scenario, you got to have a pitcher this year, this and that. We heard that Edmund and Eddie Harari were potentially going before pick 10.
Yes.
Remember all that?
Of course.
So me and Jack spoke and we said, okay, these guys are gone. If Yak is there, we're taking him. Then the draft came and none of those pitchers went, but we were so set on putting Yak in that lineup and saying, we're going do or die with this guy. And you know what? Call him a non-pitcher, whatever you want, but he has 10 years experience standing on the mound. He's not afraid of the pressure. Yeah, is he going to pitch like Naby or Edmund? Maybe not with the control, but we're 4-2, and I wouldn't trade him out of that lineup hitting in front of me and then back at Jack for anything.
No one's saying the hitting in front or whatever.
But it's a package deal.
Why is it a package deal?
Because I'll take my chances with him on the mound, knowing that I'm not getting the best pitcher in the league to say we're built on a tremendous lineup and offense, and this guy is going to really be the main part of that.
Right.
Right now, in my opinion, at 4-2, him hitting 500 or about with power, I don't care how many walks he had because we're 4-2. He's not the best pitcher, but you got to think that he's up there for MVP. This is Ohtani right now. It's not like he's a guy hitting 400 just singles. He's hitting bombs. He's hitting 3, and we're only halfway through the season. But you got to think that he's going to get better from here.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But the pressure continues to build up. You do have Hannon in the pen. Is there any plan for him? Would he have gotten in if he came week 3 in that game 1, where Jungle jumped out ahead? Any role for Hannon on the mound?
Yes, I believe there might be at some point, but let me tell you, Hannon missed this past week, but if you go look at his batting stats from the last 5 to 7 years, there are years that he batted 0. He was 0 for 10, 0 for 8, whatever it was. Right now, he's having a resurgence. Again, it's 2 weeks. He's batting .583 with power. And without the pressure and the energy that he's losing on the mound, because he's a big guy and it takes a lot out of them, he's getting up and he is contributing tremendously. He was away on a business catering job this week, but he knew that we were looking to make moves, and he reached out to me right before the holidays and said, Sabon, I don't know what you plan on doing with me, but I beg you, not trade me. I love this team.
But why would he say that if he could get a pitching job? Does he not want to be a pitcher anymore?
No, I don't.
Because if you traded him, the assumption is he would be the pitcher on whatever team you traded him to.
Right now, tell me what team he's going to go pitch for.
Even
at 0-6.
I thought a deal.
No,
I thought a deal that should have been made was I thought Z should have given you Leo, give you a real pitcher on the mound with an unbelievable offense and defense that you already have, and he should have given you Leo and somebody bad for Hannon. That way he still has a pitcher. And Hannon gets his full-time role, and then he gets an upgrade somewhere, whether it's Jake Braha at third, or who plays second for you, or whatever, like Mocas, okay, not Mocas, but, someone in the 6th, 7th, 8th round, even, let's say, Bub or Jake, or someone like that.
Okay, so I hear you, and Zach did offer a deal with Leo, but Leo doesn't like playing. He feels, I believe he is one that felt the pressure. He was the pitcher for the Knights, and I think when they traded me, he was, not in a bad way, it happens. He went to the captains and said, I can't pitch with Sabon chirping in my ear, and that was it. So I believe he's better off there, I'm better off there, and again, our team was built around the fact that we need offense to win, and I have to hope that Yak through these games. And I'm going with Young.
I like and appreciate the fair answer there. Okay, fine. I like that, and I can accept that. Jack Abadi, how is he handling short? Looked very good against the Jungle. I did not see much in the other weeks, but this game I saw, he looked very good at shortstop.
This is not because he's my teammate or not because he was my first pick, but right now, in my opinion, he is Gold Glove at short. He has one error on the season. It happens. Everyone's going to make one.
Of course.
And it was a missile that short hopped and went maybe off his foot, past him. But every other play, and he's gotten plenty, he made every play. Whether it was in the hole or hard hit to him, making the throws to me, or even getting an out on a force to third. He is playing phenomenal, and he's hitting phenomenal. He is not hitting 650 yet, but we're early.
I noticed that. He is definitely flying out more than we've seen him fly out in the last. Now, he did get injured this year.
He did.
It must be bothering him because there were weeks in the past 3 years when he played, not last year, but the 3 years that he played, there were weeks you didn't know what to do with this guy. You can't get him out. Now you're seeing the foul ball down the right field line being caught multiple times in a game. Trust me, he's batting 470 something like your whole team is. 1 through 8 is all batting in the 470s. You're all the same. It's
Everyone
crazy.
has identical
It's nuts.
numbers,
But he's batting great, and he can easily finish at 600 if he gets hot. But it's definitely not batting the dominant way that he was.
Listen, week 2, we took him out of the game. He didn't play the field. He hit. We've given him pinch runners. He did not play last year, so I don't care who you are or how much BP you're taking in the cages. Yes, that helps get your body ready, but anything could happen on the field. One tweak, and it's going to be a little setback. We're lucky we got through week 2 with a sweep, and we didn't even have Braha.
Who did you sweep in week 2 again?
We swept
The
Abraham
El
Haber,
Jefe.
who was coming off of a sweep, and they didn't even have Juber, and Juber was back, and we still swept them shorthanded. So I think we did good so far, but Jack is Jack, and let me just give him a quick shout out. I am so happy that was my pick. I mean, of course, I'm lucky I got that first overall pick.
That was huge.
But for him to be the voice of the team and say things that I might not be thinking, it goes a long way with the rest of our team, and it's motivating the Warriors to come out and play.
Come out and play.
Yay. But he has so much knowledge about the league and the players and the sport that he's giving his personal insight, and I feel like it's helping him week to week.
Yeah, your dugout is insane. I was there for 2 outs of an inning, 2/3 of an inning, and then I said, let me remove myself from here. I came over to you and I said, Yak is nuts. He's banging the garbage can, and like it was the first inning, someone flew out. It was a good shot even. It was Isaac Sanson, sent it deep, could have been a 10 feet this way, that way, it could be a bomb. But, it seems to be so intense. Mocas screaming at Yak to calm down. You're always there. I know we're calm now and everything, but you're there.
Yeah,
Never know with the volcano. Could erupt.
I could explode.
Batty could erupt.
Yeah.
Bob could erupt. There's going to be something at some point, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, though.
Listen.
I think it's inevitably something is going to happen in this dugout, and it might be priceless footage. I just hope I'm there when it happens.
Listen, winning cures all, so we're all intense, and we're only really there to win. If anyone in the league could tell me they come here just to have fun, then go do something else.
Right.
Because we know how important this league is. And as Ali once said, it's only softball, but it's not. It's everybody's life from January till August. And when you lose, if you get swept, even on a split, your week is like terrible.
Yeah.
It just is. So right now we're winning, and I'll be honest, a couple of the weeks where we split, we were actually happy to get that split. Anything could happen either way. But I think as long as you're showing that we're playing high quality ball, high level softball, then there's really no need to go killing each other. Now, I'm sure in the coming weeks, it's going to be tougher games and you want to get into the playoffs, so you need wins, and people are going to be intense.
If you're Shimmy and you draft that team, whether you would or you wouldn't, but let's say you did, that's your team, all right? What the hell do you do? What is the answer? Should he have made another deal? Did you like the deal he made? Do you stand pat? What do you think?
Listen, at 0-4, he decided to trade his key piece, I guess Jimmy, and Nutty, who really I don't think was hitting so well.
Correct.
He got a first rounder in Shalou and a shortstop that he needed because anyone he tried there over the weeks, Jordy, Fallis, whoever was there, didn't work out. So he did what he had to do. It did not work. Nothing is guaranteed. You make these deals, you have to hope they pan out. I think you and I had a text back and forth saying it could, or no, it was in my dugout. I asked you who won, and you said Shimmy lost 2, Ali lost 1. He might be losing. I said the whole thing's a flop.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, but Ali got lucky to win, so in his mind, he looks like a genius right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to hear anything about, holy cow, you took Jimmy, you took Sid, you took this one, you lost more, you gave away Shalou. The only person hearing it right now is the 0-16.
And even if Ali loses next week, that goes away. Everyone forgets about
That's
the trade.
it. It's
We're so recent,
Yeah,
you know?
it's
Like,
over,
you talk
right.
about it that week and that's it.
Ali won the deal because he split. Shimmy, in my opinion, lost because he lost 2 the first week back.
But did
it's not
anyone
over.
say that when the trade was made, or was 90% of the people telling me, why did Ali do this deal? All so he could play shortstop. It's selfish. It's stupid. He got the raw end of the deal.
Okay, so let's talk about my good friend Ali for a second. Ali, with his no hips for the past 5 years, it was a big topic. Every year he inserted himself into shortstop. He didn't hear the end of it. From you, from all the critics, and you know what? Maybe at the point where he was 52, 53 with bad hips, it was time to go in a different direction. He asked me, and I said, Al, you're a captain. You have a chance now to show the league that how serious you are and say, I'm going to take everybody's advice. I'm 53 with no hips. I got an early draft pick. Let me get Shalou a superstar. Ali, in his mind, knew that that was the right thing to do, but to appease the crowd. In everybody's mind, wow, Ali's a different man. He moved up to get a star shortstop, right? And he's putting himself at a different position. Little did we know, with his new hips, he felt better than ever. And he felt that he could handle shortstop. And honestly, I believe he can.
Great.
He looked great. Phenomenal.
Even when he was still at short center, you saw the plays of the week where like he dives and
then throws a ball from the ground.
He couldn't do that last
He
year.
could not.
No way.
But now he can. And now he said, you know what? I gave it my all. I traded up to get Shalou. It didn't work. I'm going back. I'm going to get Jimmy. He wants to be with me. He's my friend. I'm putting him on the team. Now Ali did everything everyone asked. And I believe that chapter of my MSL for the great one should be behind. Nobody should question it.
Well, let's see if he could get
Yeah,
through
listen,
the
is
season.
he going to be Ozzie Smith? Maybe not. Everybody makes errors. Zach, in my opinion, is the best of the best.
Of course.
He had a very rough week.
He had a bad week this week. The 2
Right.
weeks before that seemed okay.
But
bad week this week, which is always going to happen, like you said. And Ali's going to have a bad week, and Abadi's going to have a bad week, and Gabe's going to have a bad week. But any of those could win the Gold Glove.
And anyone could win.
Of course.
But if you're, Ali, I believe, owes it to himself to give it a shot. He went and had this crazy surgery at not an old age to have double hip replacement.
Right.
And then that's it. That's where he feels the best. And you know what? He made the trade to put himself in that position. Let's see if it works.
It was probably boring for you, but a lot, because you know Ali, are amazed at the minor league career. I am amazed how many people did not know that he traveled and played baseball. I'm shocked that so many people in the league did not know that about Ali, because that was like everyone knew that about him, you know. So I was amazed at that, but people did not know that, and they couldn't believe how Ali was like emotional talking about it.
Yeah.
It's sad, could have been what this, what that, and
I have a stat that he did not mention that I know because I know him for 30 years or more. When Ali was stationed in Kansas or wherever he was, his roommate for 2 years was Gabe Kaplan.
Gabe Kapler.
The ump.
Yes.
I mean, the manager of the Giants or whatever. But
and he also told me in his card game, when they used to travel, the buses, the games, the other guy with Kapler, Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers, stolen base for the Red Sox against the Yankees. That's crazy. With these guys in the minors.
Nuts,
It's a crazy thing. Okay, moving on from Ali. Well, first of all, another injury from that team, Abe Saka. What are we hearing from your friend Abe Saka? And I thought Abe wanted any player in the league except Jimbo, and all of a sudden he looks and now he has Slim Jim on his team.
Right. Listen, AB is a warrior. AB, of course, new hip also. One hip. And I think that he was totally loving the fact that he got Shalou. I thought they, thought that was the right way to go. But I guess mid-season or after a few weeks, according to Ali's testimony, it was the brain trust pushing the fact that they would rather Jimmy than Shalou, and I believe that there was multiple guys part of that. You know who it might be, and Abe certainly had an opinion on that.
Right.
And I believe if he was so against that, Ali would have taken that under advisement.
Right.
So I believe that they all were in favor, and there you go.
Okay, week 1 you split with Cool Runnings. That's Dano's.
Dano.
Freezing cold, racetrack, wind, all that. What do you think of the 3 teams you faced so far? You have Dano's team in Cool Running, then you swept Abe Haber's team, and then you split with the Jungle.
Right.
Okay, we didn't talk about any of those 3 teams really, so go for it.
So I believe Dano had an unbelievable lineup. Again, it was the first week. It was cold, like you said. It was tough conditions. They have an excellent team, though. I think they're going to go a long way. They got Edmund. He's a great pitcher. And they got, a tremendous cast, Farka, and all those guys.
Gabe is playing well is the key to that team.
Gabe playing well, hitting and playing short. I could expect to see them deep in the playoffs.
Henry playing a good third base.
Henry playing a good third, and of course Henry, as we know or heard the rumors, loves. I mean, Henry, you're watching, but there's one that you like to pee in public, pan down, underwear down, and you don't even like to turn around. If you want to come on the show or call me, just let me know. We'll discuss it. I did not see this, but people are mentioning it.
From where? From racetrack this week?
Racetrack. Yeah. Maybe it's a thing. He grew up in a nudist colony, and it was called the Shalom Nudist Camp. Every summer he would go, and they just like to relieve themselves without hiding behind a tree.
No, that's unacceptable. You got to go to a bush somewhere.
Again, I did not see this, but a lot of reports.
Wow. So more complaints. We have the complaints about the uniform wearing on that team, and now we have the complaints about the urinating in public on that team.
Is it possible that someone got peed on and changed into...
Maybe that's what happened with Gabe's uniform.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. That could be. Jungle, you lost a lopsided score to them, and then you mercied them. That seems to happen to them every single week.
Listen, I don't know what anyone said at the draft, but when you're headed up by a team with Zach, you're going to have a fair shot. They had a better team than I thought. We got off to a rough start. The first inning, there was a couple walks and hits, and before we know it, it's 3-0, and then 4-1 or 5-1, and
7-3, 7-1 actually.
Then Jigga hit a lopsided homer off a bad route, but it was a nice shot. And whatever, it happens. We're not winning every game. No one is. and then we came back and we were down 2-0.
You know what the issue with their team is, really, which is shocking when you look at it? Because they had so many issues coming out of the draft, but they, like you said, they have Zach. It's a big equalizer in many ways, offensively and defensively. Despite the fact that he didn't play great defense this week, typically he's going to be good offensively and defensively. He's actually batting in the 800s.
Yeah,
he's 13 for 16 this year.
No, listen.
So, but their issue, of all the problems that they have, which I thought may be a problem in right with Bird, Leon Harari, a lot of dead weight on that team. Joe Eshkenazi is batting, I believe, in the 100s or something crazy.
I asked a couple guys what happened. This guy was probably the best superstar of the league that's having a slow start. We're not going to say his career's over after 3 weeks.
No, he's got 470 last year.
He's a great player. He's off to a slow start. There's a lot of guys. I think it's his confidence. I was standing at first, and he walked, and I said, "Joe, what's up with you?" And I think he said, you know, I forgot how to hit or something.
Right.
You know, like he has to find his way. But I think he'll be all right.
But he at 2 and 4, 5 teams in, they don't have a lot of time.
They need to get.
Well, he's got to show up for them. He's got to get 4 hits for them in a week.
What he needs to, honestly, in this case, he needs to just get to the cages and just take 100 swings.
Just hack,
and not think. Just go up and hit the ball. And when he gets up, instead of looking for walks, he looks to swing. And whatever happens, happens. Don't aim anywhere. Just rip the ball. Hope that someone doesn't make a play. All it takes is one ball to get through, and he'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Circle of Trust. Abe Haber's team. You swept them. Strange. They swept. They got swept, and they split. They did all 3 so far. But they got a win against the previously undefeated Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
So, what do you make of that squad?
Well,
and if you think they're garbage, just say they're garbage. You swept them.
No, they are not. That's a very tough team. They have a great lineup, and their pitcher was Jeff Saka, a veteran. They were good. We were nervous. Not nervous. We said this is going to be a tough match, and it could have went either way. I think we came back a couple times. They went up. We just got the best of them both games, and I think they're at 500.
They're at 500.
So, that's where you need to be right now.
You know what's crazy about their team? They're at 500. They won a game in week 1 against Golani that they were losing in the 7th inning, and they won in extras. They could have won or lost that game. They had a game yesterday with Nanu at the plate, tying run at third. Like, it came down to the very last at-bat. Zach had a game against Cool Runnings down to the last at-bat. There's so many wins this year, I think more than ever, that have really could have gone either way, and then boom, it affects everything. Even your game against Cool Runnings, they could have won that game, the game that you won. Like, it's crazy.
Listen, all the teams this year, whether they're 0-6 or 5-1, are a couple of runs or an error or a mishap or a hit away from their destiny of this year being different.
Yeah.
Period. No one left the draft saying, JT's team is going to be the best and Shimmy's going to be the worst by far. It just looks like that right now, but if JT lost 2 and he's 5-3 and the other guy's 2-6,
JT has some lucky wins there also, but the key, everyone knows Joe G is great. Hank DeWeck is playing like an MVP. He's such a good hitter, and Joey Cohen is short. As good, we didn't mention him with the Gold Glove shortstops. He's right there with all of them. He's playing great. Sabon, people have been saying, where are the predictions? Why am I shying away from the predictions? So I think I have my New Jersey Natural Gas invoice here, which you'll pay after this interview. Thank you. But on the back of this invoice, I have the matchups for this upcoming week. So I'd like to get yours and my predictions for this week.
Forehand, backhand, serve, volley, serve, slice, forehand, backhand, call, Elliot, Greenberg, forehand, backhand, serve, volley, serve, slice, forehand, backhand. Call Elliot Greenberg.
Right? Don't feel pressured to be bold. If you think it's a split, it's a split. We want to see you go 4 for 4.
I'm all about the truth.
Where should we start? Should we start with you against Nate B?
House, car, liabilities, Bluestone Brokerage.
This is Zach Ashkenazi, 4-time YMSL champion and current captain of the Jungle. Just got a new apartment, immediately realized I needed renter's insurance. There's only one person to call, that's Uri Adler from Bluestone Brokerage. And then I was walking out of my apartment. Getting to my car, I said, I need car insurance. Who do I call? Uri Adler from Bluestone Brokerage. There is only one man to call for your insurance needs. Whether you just got a house with a new swimming pool, whether you're shaking and baking down the highway, there is only one person to call. That is Uri Adler from Bluestone Brokerage.
House, car, liabilities, Bluestone Brokerage.
The Warriors versus Never Again. Wow, you know what's funny about that? I look at your team, so much offense and everything, and then I look at their team, and it's really Nate B. Is Carlos going to continue to bat 570? I doubt it, but maybe. All right, Warriors versus Never Again.
Call David Sacker. Call David Sacker. Call David Sacker for a new vehicle.
Never Again. What's your prognosis? You don't have to predict if you don't want that.
I will predict. I said, listen, this is a good team ran by Ishak. They easily have the best pitcher in the league in Navy, and they obviously are coming to win. They are missing A.B. Cohen.
Huge.
That's
huge
not
loss.
my fault, not anybody's fault. And with that, I'm going to say we get it's going to be tight games, but I would say with that loss and our offense, and I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to beat us, so I'm going to say we sweep.
Who's going to play out? I know they have set in for the outfield. He should be playing full-time anyway. He's a very good left fielder. They have Nate Kush. I guess you put him in right. Who is their other outfielder?
Alan Jamel.
Allen's going to have to go to center. Okay,
Allen,
so
yeah,
that's
he'll
not
go
bad
there.
defensively.
No, they're
That's
good.
fine. Jay's having a good year, but went 1 for 7 this past week. Did nothing for the sweep. Did nothing. Couldn't even get him in a highlight. Saw nothing. Pop up, ground out, nothing. Okay, fine. I am going to say that even without Abe J, they get a game because Nate B is so good. He's 3-3. He's on a good team. Adler, whatever. I think they get a game. And in fact, even if they had Abe J, I'd have the same prediction. It's crazy to say, but I think they'll get a game either way because the weather is iffy this upcoming Sunday again. Where are the days like today?
Yeah, we haven't got lucky yet, but I think we will.
Okay. Colt 45s. Allie Marshall, Abe Saka, Jimbo. Your whole is that your crew? Is that who you're hanging out with on a daily basis?
That's our crew. Yeah, we're good friends. Jimmy's my neighbor.
So it's your whole crew except for you on the Colt 45s.
Correct. They did not want me, so they made me be a captain.
Against the Golani Brigade. I'm saying from now, I am predicting Golani to win a game easily this week, no matter who they played. I cannot see this team with that talent and Max Yedid and all those bats be 0-8 with Shalou, Saul Fallis, even Butchie, whoever else they have. I can't see, and Ruby Shalou and Max Yedid. It's impossible for them to be 0-8, although here we are. I'm saying they definitely get a game against the Colt 45s and probably only one because they don't know how to win yet.
Right. I would agree on a split. Both teams have everything to play for, especially the ego. Obviously, they want the wins, but Shalou getting traded for Jimmy, if they go and lose and go 0-8, that to me is just a miserable flop of a season for any team. Max
Crazy.
Shadid's too good to allow that to happen. They got to have some kind of pride and win a game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say a split because you're gonna feel that from both sides. Ali doesn't want to think that he didn't make the right deal, and I think a split would kind of make him happy. Obviously, he wants a sweep, but I think Yadid and Shimmy need to get a win, and if they don't, they might as well just pack it up.
Crazy.
Yep.
Crazy. If they're 0-8, you start getting the people saying, are they going to show up for games and all that? I think they will, but
That's a mandatory thing. You
Yeah.
can't not show, and I have dance recitals. Get the hell out of here.
right. Okay. Circle of Trust versus Cool Runnings. You saw both these teams.
Yeah. Both very similar type teams.
Yeah.
I look at them both with great offenses. Maybe you give a little advantage to Edmund on the mound, but I still think that you're looking at a split there.
I'm going to go with Cool Runnings on the sweep. To me, they're the best team in the league right now. I love their balance of everything they have. Elsack hasn't really gotten started yet. I think he will. Farka, Henry at third is the key to this team. He brings a lot of professionalism. Dano's on the money with everything he's doing, his lineups, his speeches, everything. Got to get his team in uniform, and everything will be perfect. I think they sweep Circle of Trust. Could be wrong, obviously. Could go sweep the other way. I think Circle of Trust is really good. I'm very impressed by what Abe Aber has been doing. Very quiet, no trades, no moves. Didn't even trade before the draft. Kept everything the way, I think it's good. I think it's good he didn't draft his father, although you keep asking him, why didn't you go get your father?
I thought maybe, taking a little bit of an advantage of an 0-6 team, he could have rescued his father.
Right.
Give him a shot. Mo loves the game as much as anyone. He doesn't want his season to be over in a few weeks. He could have possibly went out and made a deal that was fair for both, and given Mo an extended season.
There has seemed to be a very together group, though, including your guys like Mikey Miz, who plays first base.
Great player.
And they have a good group, Jody, and these guys that are 8th round and down. They're all bought in, except for Ruby Shahabar. Maybe, Ruby's always going to be a pain. So maybe he could have traded Ruby for Mo Aber. I don't know. And add another piece. I'm not sure, but I'm happy Abe's getting to manage his own team.
Yeah.
His father is going to be too much of a voice
Right.
to let Abe do his thing. Okay, Rays at 5-1, Jungle 2-4. Rays with Joe Chira now.
This is a good matchup. Obviously, you have that 5-1 team there on the top of the standings right now, but I just simply don't see them sweeping this week. Again, I'm looking at a split across the board. Not across the board. I predicted us to have a sweep, but in this game, I don't see any mercy. And again, Zach is
No mercy.
no mercy, and every win is going to count. Zach and team know that. I see a split there.
I am going to say a shocking result that the Jungle is going to sweep the Rays. I like the way the Jungles played against your team. They looked different against your team than they did the first 2 weeks. They were alive. They scored 2 in game 2 before you guys just exploded and they fell apart. So they haven't gotten a full real week together yet. Fine, but they won game 1. They were leading early game 2. I'm like, holy cow, are they actually going to sweep your team? I didn't give them a shot going in, but I saw some things come together, and I think Zach is hitting great. He can't make 3 errors in an inning or 3 errors in a game or whatever. That he cannot afford that on this team. There's no margin of error for Zach not to be perfect in everything. But I believe Joe Eshko, this is the week he explodes. This is also the classic JT overlooking a team week. He does it every year.
Yep.
He doesn't respect any team that's not with a good record in the first 2 or 3 teams. He just doesn't. And he always falls for them, and then he nods his head and says, yeah, they're a good team. They're better than I thought. I give them credit, blah, blah, blah. if the jungle sweeps them, they go to 4-4. Rays fall to 5-3. Who knows what you're gonna do? And it could shake up everything. And I think we need a little bit of a shake-up.
I think we need a shake-up, but what I think you might be overlooking here is the superb pitching of Eddie Harari.
Yes, it's not so superb.
It's not.
It's a lot of walks, and you're not a man of walks.
I am not.
It's a lot of walks from Eddie Harari.
There's nothing worse than a pitcher and walks. You want to give up homers, hits, it happens. When you give 3 bases and it's not coming from the captain saying give them 4,
right,
and it's walk after walk, that's probably the thing that drives me the most nuts, especially a leadoff walk, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to cause problems. And if it's a leadoff guy, like a number 1 hitter walking, then you're stuck facing 2, 3, 4 with men on, and they're bound to score.
You know what? The Rays have, give them credit and tip your cap, but they've won a lot of very close games this year. They should have lost to Galani. Maxi Deed got ejected. They should have lost a couple of games along the way. They could have, should have, all that nonsense. Every team could have, should have lost. But they happen to have gotten the breaks in a lot of their close games. And I don't know if it ever evens out or not, but maybe it will now. I just think that they're getting a little bit lucky. They're a good team. They should be 3-3 or 4-2. They happen to be 5-1, so I see a correction coming here. I don't know if Jungle's good enough to get it done, but I know the Rays are not one of these 12-2 teams. I just don't think they're that good.
I mean, listen, the only thing we could do is wait for this week to see how your prediction pans out. But what is for sure is that every team, regardless of the record, is, like I said, within a couple of hits or errors of having their whole season different.
It's crazy.
There isn't a team that said, like you said, oh, this is far and away because they're at 5-1. That's the 12-2.
No.
And this guy's 0-6, and he's going to be 0-14. It's not. By the end of the season, everything kind of always shifts. We haven't really seen a team go that wild since maybe swimming at, what were they, 11-3?
They were 12-2. They were actually 12-2 on the way to 13-1. They had the lead in the last inning of the last game. So
they have a little bit of a lopsided record. But today, in the captain's chat, they were talking about that, and I think Zach was saying that most of their games they won by 1 or 2 runs.
Almost every game.
So like anything could have happened. It was
Anything.
It was their season.
They had the magic that year also. Everything that they needed happened. Great.
Yep.
Okay, Sabon. Isaac Indy playing center field?
Yes.
Wow.
We're giving it to him.
Wow.
He wanted. He reached out after the trade and expressed how excited he was to be on this team and how thankful he was. And of course, we had some stipulations, as of course any team that I'm running would have, especially for a rookie 18-year-old who loves the parties and loves to be out late. Just be responsible and be on time and play your hardest.
You remember your days as a young, good-looking, beardless Michael Sabon.
I recall them fondly.
Yes.
Many times coming from the clubs
Straight to the game. Why did it work then, but it doesn't work now? Because it does not work.
Because back then we didn't know better, and when I was 20 and 22 doing that, and Buka and the 45-year-old guys, Red Messer would say, "Why are you doing this? Be responsible." Even though I was never late, never missed anything.
No, never.
I knew it was at stake. I feel like you need that older guidance to kind of put the guy in check. And if they're serious about a long-term career in this league, which any young guy playing today, if they're lucky enough to even get into this league and play, you should be thankful that you have the opportunity and take advantage and represent the league and yourself very well.
So true. And guys like you and Ali and Moshama and guys that just stayed and played every single year, how many young guys did you see come and then they already retired or they already declined for whatever whatever reason.
We've seen them all.
It's crazy.
And me and Allie always laugh about how, we're in our 50s already, and you're hearing guys 28, they're done, they're these, they can't get away from the wife, they can't go back to Brooklyn, their health is declining, their body can't make it.
Or
how do people last till they're in their 50s
crazy.
and still are relevant? Are we going to say we're the greatest things ever? No. These young guys are unbelievable, but as long as we're still relevant, Allie's playing short, hitting 500. I'm still batting for leading the league in ribbies. There's a lot to say for those.
Are you
things.
really leading the league in ribbies?
I am.
Henry also never stopped playing,
Never.
signs up every year for the league. He's at third base. He's still a very relevant player at third base.
Mo Haber, Eddie Michon.
Eddie Michon, guy's batting over 500
Crazy,
again.
yeah.
Never missed a year.
No.
Like, it's crazy. I think the key is you can't take that year off.
Once you're gone, I think you're pretty much gone. Here, case in point, not that there was any real setback, because the guy's, arguably the best player in the league, but Jack missed 1 year.
Yeah.
And you said it. He's popping up. He's not hitting 800.
I want Jack batting 1,000.
Yeah.
I don't want him getting out.
I think forget what I want and forget what you want. He expects that of himself.
He expects 2,000
He
out of
does.
himself.
He expects that. With all the talent and the time and everything that he puts into this, I don't think he's going to be happy batting 500, 550. If it's not a 600, 700 type year with a ring, then I guess you could consider it a failure.
He's going to be 600. He's going to be 575 to 600.
Right.
For sure. The ring, we'll see. A bounce here or a bounce there in the postseason.
That's
We'll
it.
see how it goes.
That's it.
But he'll definitely be over 600 because, he's so technical. He knows what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing right or wrong, He's going to say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, or whatever it is. He'll figure it out. He'll take it to the lab, and he's the least of your problems. But it is amazing what we said. Your whole team is batting between 470 and 480.
Yeah.
You, Jack, Yak, Bub, Mocas,
All identical.
Isaac Sasson.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Believe it or not, Hannon, even though we missed a week, leading the team with a 583.
Yes. Okay. Well, there you have it. Michael, for your attendance here today, I did bring you a parting gift. I had no more of the Hollywood tanks, I'm sorry. But last year we did sell these beautifully embroidered yet oversized YMSL logos. Jake Cohn was seen wearing this hat. I have not seen it at the field that often, but he was wearing this hat of all our hats this year. The embroidery is beautiful, but it's way too big.
No, I like the big embroidery with
Really?
the interlocking stitches.
Yes.
The YMSL. That is a beautiful hat, and I will wear it proudly.
Enjoy it. I bent it a little bit for you, but this is a brand new out-of-the-box hat from last year's YMSL store. And Mike, this year you were shopping in the store. I saw you in the aisles. I saw you reach for the pin.
I went for the pin.
What happened?
When I went to checkout, it said, sold out, you failed miserably. But I thank you for the hat.
That 10 pins sold in like 45 minutes.
Why
It's
wouldn't
crazy.
we up that to 20 or 15?
It's got to keep the exclusivity. And now you can never get a YMSL pin.
And what if a bootleg YMSL pin suddenly shows up on the open market?
We do a thorough
I
investigation.
mean, what if I decided to go online and buy a pin and put some stickers on there and say, I got a pin?
You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed how hard it is to buy 10 pins for 10 new pins that are approved by the American Bowling Congress. You'd be amazed. It's not so easy. They want you to be a bowling alley. They want you to be registered and whatnot. I had to show up with some cash to a local bowling alley
And beg for pins.
beg for pins, and then I had to show up at Sakal and beg him to place something on pins. Believe it or not, Mike, he has never decorated a pin before.
Well, Sakal did a great job. Look at these jerseys.
Look at
That's
that.
Albert Etery.
Al Cubano.
Al Cubano with a green face. But
And
yes,
it's a black hat like Al Cubano now.
Yeah.
I know
Black
it's the
hat,
hair,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Al Cubano is.
he got religious on us, which is all good. But yeah, getting back to Sakal and the pin stickering. He did a great job with the uniforms.
Yes.
You should hire him for years to come, and we'll take it from there.
And don't forget, on every single uniform, he put a player here. You got Daniel Bloom, a young guy, probably our age, that died in Gaza this year.
Man. Oh, God rest your soul, and may Israel destroy their enemies and last a long time.
Yes, beautiful. Sabon, thank you as always. Great job. Anything else you want to say?
We love the league.